Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Hellstormwargaming. How you doing? My name's Mikey. Thanks so much for tuning in. I just had a drink disaster. My apologies. I went to grab a drink and then I spilled it everywhere as soon as I turned up.
Long time no see degenerates. Mikey, looking forward to seeing what flavors from K-pop your hairdo is today. Victory hand, victory hand.
Hell yeah. Thanks so much, dude. Thanks for the 20. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Mikey. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream. We're going to be talking about Age of Sigmar today. I've been playing a lot of Age of Sigmar. So I thought we could talk about the pros and cons of Age of Sigmar and kind of do a initial wish list. An initial wish list of things that probably don't quite work. That's the plan. Okay. I've lost weight. Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't think I have. I feel like I put it all on. But there we go. Let's see if we can hit 545 members today. That would be very sick. 545. Not 550. Not being greedy. 545. That's the plan. That's the plan. Or is that too many? That 535. How's that? 535. Not too many. Just a couple. Just a couple. Just take the compliment. All right. Just take the fucking compliment. But welcome to the stream. Let me say hello to everyone who's tuning in. Look at that. We got my chatbot's working again, so it'll actually work. Grimgar, hello. Free radio. Hello, mate. How are you? How are you? Chair stream is the best stream. That's mean. Lone Wolf thing. Hello. Who's this guy? I know. That footage hasn't uploaded, by the way. I'll do it after. Hello, bro. Hope you're well also. Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it. Hope you're doing all right. Which list? We're going to make a list. We're going to make a list, Ty. That's the plan. Let's see if this works. Let's see. Bam. Does work. Beautiful. Love to see it. Love to see it. Love to see it. The very serious list you compiled from us members that definitely didn't devolve into bullshit answers immediately. Yeah, I asked the Discord about that for their input, and they just started talking about the lore and stuff, and I was like, okay, this wasn't what I was looking for. This is close, but no cigar. That's what we call that one. That's what we call that one. But yeah, the plan today, chat, is we're gonna look at Age of Sigmar and put our wish list together. Things that I think we should change or should be changed or how they can change. And just generally just shoot the shit like we always do. So welcome to the stream. Again, my name is Mikey. I stream every single Monday, Wednesday and Friday. As you might have seen on Friday, we had a crazy, crazy fun game of Age of Sigmar on the channel, which is really fun with Big C. We played Ossiarch Berries versus Skaven again. 2,000 points. Crazy time, great stream. We had people being super generous, which is super cool. People were being super generous. The game was really, really fun. Had a great time. So yeah, is the list going to be bone? Did I say we were writing a list? I said we're going to write a wish list about things we want to change. It's not a list. Papa, thank you for the 5 gifted. Really appreciate it. Papaya Pariah, thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate you. That's very kind of you. That's very, very kind of you, dude. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Kicking us off nice and early with 5 gifted. Look at that. We're on our way to the goal now. We're on our way to the goal. 16 away. There's 52 watching. 1 in 3 of you could do it. And I'd have more than enough. And then we'll do a giveaway. I've actually added some new prizes to the giveaway. I've added some new prizes. As you might know, I have a web store called hellstormwargaming.co.uk/shop. Or you can type !merch in the chat. Okay. And you might have seen an item called On Pre-Order. As you can see, neoprene objective markers for 40k and AOS. All right. As you can see, there's lots of options. There's light grey. Very cool. Very epic. There's dark grey. There's the measurements. They've got 2 sets of measurements on, as you can see. Okay, we've got the 40mm objective marker dotted line And then the 40 mil objective marker is 3 inches from the edge of the mat. So if you're on the mat, it's great for 40k in Age of Sigmar. If you play Spearhead, it has a green circle and this dotted line. That's 3 inches from the center, which is great for Spearhead and other games that use center of the objective. Now, I don't know many other games that use center of the objective and 3 inches wide. But if you do know a game, you can use these, okay? We got Caldera, which is super cool. Look how Caldera looks on a 40k board. It looks epic. Looks super sick. We've got Arctic Wasteland, okay? We've got Arctic Wasteland, which looks super sick. As you can see, on a nice board. Blends into a point where it doesn't look too super garish. But also, it's just like it stands out a little bit, just enough that you know where it is. And you can see it. And you got like the logo in the middle. That's your little objective you're trying to grab. We've got Overgrown, which is just like a mossy wasteland, which you got a pack of those as well. We've got Urban Conquest, I like to call it. That's what I like to call that one. We got an Urban Conquest there, which is very cool. We've got like this old cracked road, as you can see. And finally, we've got Sandstorm Cutout. We got Desert Wasteland. As you can see, this is a digital render of the objective, because I didn't put a photo on, because, chat, they're here. They're no longer on pre-order. As you can see, our new objectives are in hand, ready to go. If you've ordered a set, they are packed. They are either at the post office or they're down there behind me because I packed some more today. Okay, they are here. So we've got the road one there. We've got Overgrown, very cool. I get another in plastic, but there we go. We've also got, ooh, this one now, my new favorite. My new favorite, Desert Wasteland. Very, very sick. I love this one. And I want more like it. I definitely want more like this one. This is super nice. Super, super nice. What else do we have? We've got light grey, as you can see. We've got dark grey, as you can see. What else do we have? I think I've turned my music off from throwing things around. Oh, no, I haven't. We're all good. What else do we have? We also have Arctic, as you can see. A little bit darker than the picture on the internet, but there we go. A little bit darker, a little bit more saturation in there. And finally, we have Caldera. Caldera of like little crater. I like to think it's like an alien piece of technology that's crashed and left a marker. But if you do need some more objectives or some new objectives, exclamation point merch. If you are a member, there's a discount code as well, don't forget. There's a discount code, which is very cool. So if you are a member of the channel, you get a discount on everything on the web store. It actually works out cheaper to get a membership and then buy some stuff sometimes, especially tournament tickets, which you can find with exclamation point shop. But as you can see, we've got loads of the designs and they're in stock now. So if you'd like to grab some, now's the time. If you buy any today, tomorrow, or Wednesday, I'll throw in a free little gift as well. Everyone who's pre-ordered one has got some free gifts. I've run out of the first free gifts. We've got some second free gifts that are going out. So if you'd like to order some, exclamation point shop, that'd be very cool. They'll be shipping first class, and if you're not in the UK, they'll be shipping anywhere in the world, okay? Now, I can't guarantee shipping times anywhere in the world, but I will ship them, okay? Okay. So that's it. That's what we've got. We've got the new objectives. Thanks, everyone, for spamming the links in the chat. Again, exclamation point shop if you'd like to find it, or you can find it at hellstormwargaming.co.uk/shop. I've also got a tournament coming up in a couple of weeks, as you might know. As you can see from the from this here, but it does mean I won't have many left after that. So if you'd like to buy some, I'd recommend getting them sooner rather than later because they won't be around forever. I'll try and get more in stock, but if you don't want to wait, get them fast. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Again, Papa Pariah, thanks for the 5. Tom, thanks for the 20. Let me quickly catch up with chat. Quickly catch up with chat. But what I wanted to say is they've been added to the wheel. Look at that. Plastic bad objectives and actual good objectives. So I've added objective mats to the prize wheel, which will begin once we hit the member goal. Okay, if you're not tuned into one of my streams before, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Okay, we have a pick a wheel because basically we have a member goal at the bottom of the screen. I set an arbitrary number. Sometimes it's between 10 and 15. It's 35 today. If we hit 535 members by gifting, by becoming a member, if you're a grey name, there's a couple if you have seen you already. If you want to support the channel, you become a member or you gift a membership. And then if you do so and we hit the number, I'll do a giveaway, which is free for everyone to enter. Okay. If we do hit the giveaway, we have a marble stream as well afterwards for people to play as well, for a second chance to win. But that's the plan. That's the plan. So I'm going to shuffle the prizes. I'm going to shuffle the prizes once again. There we go. Okay. So we got Elden Ring. We've got good objectives. We've got a spearhead or combat patrol. I got bullied into adding this. Big C, thanks for the gifted. I got bullied into adding a spearhead or combat patrol. So we got that on there. We've got Tacticus codes, Dark Tide codes. We've got some paper. We've got some bad objectives. And we've got some good objectives. So we've got a lot of prizes to give away this week. So that's all the plugin. Okay, that's all the plugin. Apologies. I have to get out of the way because sometimes people don't know. Sometimes people are tuning for the first time or they don't know what's going on. Yes, he should deserve a gift after all the members he gave on Friday. Yes, definitely. He was very, very generous. Copying Valrak, time out. Valrak hadn't heard of marbles before me. Alright? Don't you forget it. Don't you forget it. Valrak hadn't heard of marbles before I turned up. Des, thanks for the 30 months. Have you sold the All-Stars tickets? We still have tickets remaining. We've sold a good bunch. I think we're up to 80 players, which is less than I was hoping. But, like, that's still really good. That's still really good. So I'll take it. I'll take it. So it's still pretty good. Like 70 or 80 players, I think we're up to now. I just need to do like the final call of ticket orders that have gone through. So if you'd like to attend a tournament at the end of this month, that'd be really cool. You can grab some objectives in person if you want to. Jace, thank you for the gifted, mate. We appreciate it. So everyone who's got a big green postcard, as you can see here, will be entered into the Marbles stream at the end of the stream. Marbles run, even. And we're only 14 away from the giveaway. So if you'd like to see a giveaway, we'll do that. Okay. It's been a big week. Or a big couple of days, even. Probably just today in 40k. We're going to do a little bit of 40k, and then we'll do a little bit of Age Sigmar. The Age Sigmar thing is probably going to be a bit more intense. I will say I'm finding a lot of enjoyment of covering Age of Sigmar recently, so thanks for all the support on that so far. But just to get it out of the way, we'll do the Blood Angels bit first. Alright? We'll do the Blood Angels bit first. Now, and by that, I mean we're going to talk about Codex Imperial Agents. Radio, thanks for the team, mate. Really appreciate it. Oh, damn it, I've put my keys. I cleaned my keyboard earlier, and I realized I've put the keys in the wrong place. 1 second. I've got my function key and my whatever that key is supposed to be backwards. The right click key. Let's try this. That's better. Okay, so we've had some information regarding Imperial agents. Imperial agents. They're very agents. They're very Imperial. Okay. So we've had some information about Imperial agents. So I thought we could chat about that first. And then we'll talk about the Blood Angels. And then we'll talk about Age of Sigmar and how poo-poo it is. And by poo-poo it is, I mean make a wish list. A wish list of things we'd like to change. And it's not, that's not a list. It's a wish list. Okay. Agents of the Imperium variety. That's true. So they put out another article today because it's on pre-order on Saturday. Which, legally, I can't add to anything regarding that information. Okay. Okay. So they're basically saying, how do Death Watch work? Alright. So Imperial agents are out this weekend. Death Watch are getting rolled into them. Alright. And Games Workshop are being a little bit cheeky. A little bit cheeky in how they're describing things. So, in case you don't know. Okay. In case you don't know. Death Watch are an index that run off the Space Marine Codex right now. Okay. If you didn't know that, sorry to say it. Right. That's what happens. When you play Death Watch, you're playing Codex Space Marines with a Death Watch like index on top, like you would Blood Angels, like Dark Angels have a separate codex. It's like in addition, they work together. What they're doing is making Death Watch.
Super chat £2. Wait, I can get a marble for £2. Screw grey names.
Now, Marble, thank you for the 2. It's not a case of it's everybody who donates or becomes a member or does the three ways to enter the marbles get a marble. Okay, so if anyone supports, if anything pops up on screen, you get a marble. Okay, or you can write to me and enter that way. So thank you for the tip, really appreciate it. So yeah, so basically, Deathwatch, right, are being rolled into the Imperial agents. So rather than being a Codex Space Marine supplement, what they're going to be, what they're going to do is have Deathwatch in the Codex, and by doing that, Dunra, thanks for the 6 months, really appreciate it. By being Deathwatch in the Imperial Agents Codex, they are no longer a Space Marine faction. They are an Imperial Agents faction, but they are the Deathwatch, okay? So in terms of like how Space Marines work on the tabletop, they will function similarly, but ultimately they aren't Space Marines, okay? They are Deathwatch, which means you won't use the Space Marine Codex. Now, this could mean a lot of things, okay? And we can't discuss too much because
Super chat
it's not out yet. Thank you, Andy. Thank you for the marble. Yeah, if you want to donate, that's great. You will get a marble enter, but if you don't hit the goal, the marble doesn't happen. So you are playing with chance. You're saying screw grey names, but those grey names need to become green names for the marbles to start. But thank you. That's undead to the 5 gifted, you fucking babe. Look at that. There we go. We're 10 away now. We're just 10 away. Easy. 1 in 10 of you. That's like 1 in 8 of you, even. Becomes member. Easy clap. All done. All done. Des, thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate it. So yeah, so basically, Deathwatch are going to function in a way where essentially you have Deathwatch as its own army, okay? Whether that's a whole army, whether that's like the main army, or whether that's like an addition, like an ally system. Because obviously we have Imperial Knights, we have Inquisitors now. They could be taken as allies for Imperial armies. Deathwatch are going to be the same thing. What Games Workshop are basically trying to say here, okay, is everything that you have that isn't Artemis, a Watchmaster, Deathwatch Veterans, or Corvus Blackstar, okay, if you have any of those units, they're going to be playing as Deathwatch, and everything else is going to play as Space Marines, but not the Deathwatch detachment, okay? That's kind of like where we're at, and what they're trying to say is the best way to play if you have an existing collection is to go, okay, well, there's Brutalis Dreadnought that's painted like an Inquisitor, and like a Deathwatch Dreadnought. It's a Space Marine Dreadnought, but it is in your Deathwatch army. It won't do anything with the Deathwatch. It's not going to get the Deathwatch rules. It's not going to be able to use Deathwatch stratagems. Ultimately, you're going to be playing a Space Marine army with a Deathwatch detachment in there, okay? Now, if it's anything like current Inquisitors, like Assassins, Imperial Knights and stuff like that, what it also means is when you're playing Deathwatch, they won't get any additional special rules. They won't get stratagems, they won't get enhancements, they won't get warlord traits, whatever. They won't get any additional special rules. What they'll be is units on the tabletop that work with your army. You'll essentially be playing Space Marines that are painted black with veterans and stuff in addition that don't ultimately synergize with the army very well in terms of like rules layering. Because right now, if you choose a target for Oath of Moment, right? Like if you choose a target for Oath of Moment, your entire Deathwatch army rerolls hit rolls against it, right? And then you got mission tactics, etc. Now, if you play with like 2 detachments, I don't think everyone's going to get Oath of Moment because it's 2 detachments. It's like they're like Assassins, right? Like Assassins don't benefit from Oath of Moment in a Space Marine army. And then essentially it'll probably function like that, where they're not going to like cross over. Why the Deathwatch they should see how they start keyword? They could. But what I'm saying is, hypothetically, if they are functioning like Inquisitors, if they are functioning like Assassins, like Imperial Knights, then there's going to be no rules crossover. They're not going to... It's not like... Unless they do something crazy, right? Unless they do something crazy, which we've not seen before, the way they've kind of said they're going to function is you're going to play a Space Marine army with Deathwatch units added in. I'm curious what's coming for Deathwatch because you and Vanguard Tactics said they can't legally talk about it yet. Because I have to go off what's public, right? That's basically why I'm being coy. I'm relying on what's public. The Deathwatch Enterprise is part of a larger inquisitorial force when Xenos influence threatens the Imperial. This is the primary way for Deathwatch to be deployed in Codex Imperial agents, which includes data sheets of Watchmaster, Deathwatch, Kill Team, Corvus Blackstar, and a detachment that brings their classic mission tactics. What they're saying is if they're playing using the Codex, just the Codex, they'll get mission tactics, like they always do. Marty Mar, thanks for 27 months. Really appreciate it, bud. That's very kind of you. But I wouldn't bank on these being Space Marines anymore. They're an Inquisitor unit. They're like not Space Marines. That's why they've kind of put them in the Imperial Agents book, and they can ally with anything. I'd be very surprised. If you could take like one Space Marine unit, and then take an allied detachment of 2,000 points of Deathwatch, and then like it all functions together. So. And I don't think Games Workshop are in a position where they want to give everyone 12, this army in particular, like 12 stratagems, when they've kind of like relied on the fact that everybody has 6. The good news is actually you can absolutely feel the whole Deathwatch Space Marines. You'll require Codex Space Marines and can use any of the detachments, picking Deathwatch units using the assigned agents army rule found in the new Codex, which I think they showed off last week or the week before. Have they showed this off? I'm like 90% sure they've shown that off. I'm sure they said last week if you're playing another faction, you can only take 2 units or something. Yeah, that's correct. Because of the assigned agents. I'm sure that's the assigned agents rule, right? I just don't remember when they last talked about Imperial agents. When did they announce it? Have I gone past it? I think I have. Doodle-doo-doo. There's a code test model. Thank you. There it is. So yeah, there you go. Assigned agents. If your army faction is Agents of the Imperium, then in the select detachments rule set, you can select whether or not available detachments from this book as normal. If your faction is not Agents of the Imperium, but everyone in your army has the Imperium keyword, you can include Agents of the Imperium units in your army, even if they do not have the faction keyword you select in the select army faction step. In this case, the maximum number of agents units you can include in your army depends on the battle size. This rule is like essentially what we have now, right? I think this is the same rule. But they've added, like, extra thing. Let's have a look. Hey, Mark. Thanks for the order of the objectives, bud. I really appreciate you. There's assigned agents. I'm, like, 90% sure this rule is a thing right now. Yeah, assigned agents. All they've done is added requisition on the end. As you can see. It's the same rule. So, thinking about it logically, Deathwatch players, I'm afraid, is if it functions the same way, which they've not really alluded to it functioning any other way, okay, you're going to have a Space Marine army, which is all your Deathwatch units that aren't the 4 we've mentioned, the Watchmaster, the Artemis, the Veterans, and the Corvus Blackstar. And then they're going to be assigned agents because every other unit you have is a Space Marine army. It's going to be Ironstorm. It's going to be Stormlance. It's going to be whatever. Okay, it's going to function like any other Space Marine army that doesn't have a known supplement. And then the Deathwatch are going to be like, if it follows the same process that we already know, it's going to be like adding an assassin in. It's not going to benefit from your army. It's probably not going to have the similar keywords, right? Because they're like in addition. And that's just using like the process of assigned agents is a rule now. If Deathwatch are similar, then they will be similar. You know, they'll act the same way. Assassins won't, like an assassin, like an Imperial Knight, they won't have enhancements, they won't have stratagems. Now, what's interesting, if you want to really think about it, okay, you know how we praise Games Workshop because the game only uses one codex, right? Because they're doing this, and they are saying, use Codex Space Marines to run your Deathwatch army, okay, the Deathwatch army that isn't Deathwatch. So we need a new name for them, because I can't call them Deathwatch units that aren't Deathwatch, because they are Deathwatch right now, but they're not next week. The units that aren't the four we've mentioned, use them with Codex Space Marines, and you can actually use any supplement you want with them now. You could run them as Black Templars, you could run them as Dark Angels, you could run them as Blood Angels or Space Wolves or whatever. Okay, and then add in Deathwatch on top. Which I thought you think's quite funny. So you could have Codex Space Marines and like a Blood Angels supplement right now, because Blood Angels supplement isn't out yet. You can have a Blood Angels supplement to say, this is my Blood Angel watch, right? And then the actual Deathwatch units like Kill Team Veterans and the Watchmaster, you bring in as assigned agents. So you can actually use 3 codexes all at once. You are so welcome, everyone. You're so welcome that I've brought this to your attention. But yeah, so basically that's what Games Workshop is saying, okay? They're like, you know, we've built and painted this army to play as Deathwatch. Well, how about you don't play it as Deathwatch, and you only play the very specific units that are Deathwatch as Deathwatch. That's what they're saying. Okay. Thanks, I hate it. You're so welcome. But why would you? What do you mean, why would you? Why wouldn't you? They are basically saying you can do whatever. Did they say you can use other supplements? Again, if we're going off what we're doing right now, if assigned agents works the same way, which they've not alluded it to working any other way, just like you add an assassin to any Imperial army, they are just saying play your army as Space Marines if they're not Deathwatch. Okay, if they're no longer Deathwatch, just play them as Space Marines. So you can run them as any Space Marines and then add in your assigned agents. It could be an assassin, it could be an Imperial Knight, it could be half a Deathwatch army. Okay. Could you go for Codex, 4 Codex if you had a retinue of Grey Knights as well? I don't know how they're doing Grey Knights. I imagine maybe they're in the Codex. Who knows? Bloodwatch, Angels, Wolf, Ravens. Yeah, that's the thing. You know what I mean? If I wanted to bring a contingent of Deathwatch Space Marines, right, I'd bring out my Blood Ravens, and then I'd like use them as Blood Angels or Space Wolves or whatever. Then I can add in Deathwatch. That's the exact same thing. The only difference is if you're currently a Deathwatch player, all your armies will be painted the same colour. What is that grey thing on your shelf? What, that? This here? This Rayquaza print. A Mega Rayquaza thing. I printed for a video ages ago. Is that what you're talking about? Then add 3... Yeah, you could do. You could add 3 Warglaives as well. That's 4 codexes. Easy clap. Nick, thanks for the 20 months, bud. Really appreciate it. That's very kind of you. Get it painted. I should. I'm too busy painting Warhammer. I'm currently painting Ossiarch Bone Reapers right now. Having a great time with it. So yeah, we're only 9 members away from the giveaway. So here we go. The Auto Xenos and regular Space Marines can make use of the Deathwatch Legends datasheet in narrative game. So here we go. Look, ultimately, chat. Ultimately, we've had this conversation a few times. Okay. If you are not playing in a tournament, none of this matters. If you're not playing in a tournament, do not worry about what I'm saying about your army. Okay, do not worry about anything. Okay, this is like nothing. Don't worry about anything that's happening. Okay, if you want to run your Deathwatch army as Deathwatch, where it's all Deathwatch and functions together, okay, you can either continue playing your index, or you can run legend units and narratives. Okay, you don't have to follow what the competitive scene is doing. Okay, I said the L word. Which was the L word? You don't have to like worry about the most up-to-date current rules. If you just want to keep playing your index, keep playing your index. If you'd like to buy the codex and use legend units, that's fine. Because what this should say It's not narrative games because people don't play narrative games, okay? Games Workshop, let me fix it for you, okay? Let me fix it. Let me fix this, okay? In instead of narrative games, it should say non-tournament. Smashed it. There we go. This is what it should say. Auto Xenos and regular Space Marines can make use of the Deathwatch Legends datasheets in non-tournament games too. Why do they say narrative? People don't play narrative, okay? Well, they do, but they don't play pick-up narrative games, okay? They should start using non-tournament as language, okay? Because narrative players have been erased again. People don't play pick-up narrative games. It's something I've been learning. I've been trying to learn, like, from you and from chat and from streams and stuff, about, like, how it's to be a normal Warhammer player, because I don't remember, okay? It doesn't need to be narrative when Legends come in, because what that means is when you play match play games, people are like, well, they're only narrative. You can't actually play those. When really, Legends is for non-competitive, non-organized games. Unorganized games. You know? If you're just playing with your friend week in, week out, use what the fuck you want. If you're just playing pickup games and you go, I'm not a tournament player, can we have a casual game? I'm bringing some Legends. You know? Great. Great. Perfect. They've tried it in Age of Sigmar with, what did they call it? What did they call it? Casual match play. You know? They've tried it with casual match play, and they were like onto something there, but I feel like they should just add a fourth way to play. Open, narrative, or even open. Get rid of it. No one plays open play. But even here we are. Open, narrative, matched, and tournament play. You know? That's what they need. It should be non-tournament games, not narrative. But anyway. But as you can see, Kill Team Cassius and all of the Kill Team variants are going to be Legends. Open plays pick up play. Yeah, but open play says don't use points, and people don't do that. Exactly like those in Codex Imperial Agents, so they get the full use of Ordo Xenos detachment. So if you are playing casually, you can just continue playing, okay? Just download the Legends datasheets, pick up the new Codex, you can just continue playing, or you can keep playing your old index, it doesn't matter. It's not just Deathwatch you can lend their aid to the Imperial armies. Assigned agents allows all agents of the Imperial units to join other factions. Perhaps you fancy deploying a squad of Imperial Navy breaches alongside your Astra Militari regiment, but there are cases where a carefully chosen squad can provide a serious boost. For instance, you could add some serious melee strength to an Adeptus Mechanicus assignment with Grey Knight Terminators, or the Imperial Knights may wish to select some cheap infantry to hold backfield objectives and free up their big guys. They should talk about pickup games more. Yeah, I agree. I agree. As a result, most Imperial... This is the interesting bit. As a result, most Imperial Agents units have 2 points cost. A lower value for a full army selected from this codex, and a separate increased cost to reflect the impact they can have when included to mitigate the shortcomings of another faction. This has several advantages, and it means the points can be independently adjusted based on how effective each unit is in each setting. Because what we've seen a lot with, like, Imperial Agents being one of them, like, what were they? The Breachers? You know, the 5 breaches or whatever, the Adeptus Arbites. They're really, really good for putting in a faction into an army like Imperial Knights or Custodes and having a really, really cheap unit to set on the back line. Okay? And what they did is they went, well, they're really broken when they're taking as allies, so they bumped the points. But the problem with that is when they bump the points, if people wanted to play exclusively Imperial Agents, they are being punished for no reason other than having an army rule that they're not using right now. So their points costs are going up, their army's getting nerfed, even though when they are functioning exclusively in Imperial Agents, they're not really doing anything, you know? And I think Games Workshop should take this 2-point system further, okay? I think, look, I'm going to go out on a whim here, all right? Get the 2 pieces of wood because I'm about to be crucified, all right? I think every Space Marine faction, okay, every Space Marine faction as an initial start point such as Space Marines, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves, should have individual points costs for the units they can take. Okay. Now, I know, as the chat is pointing out, they could do points costs for different units in every detachment in the game. They could do points costs for every weapon in the game. And they don't want to do that because they're cringe. However, I do think if you're going to have armies that function very differently, okay, very differently, if you are using, like, the Blood Angels detachment with the Blood Angels supplement, maybe some units should be cheaper or more expensive. Okay. Josh in tears. What did Josh... Where's Josh? I didn't even see a Josh in chat. Did I see a Josh in chat? Alexic! Thank you for the 10 gifted! Thank you so much for the 10 gifted, Alexic. I didn't even recognize you. Are you Lurker? Baby Lurker in chat? Thanks so much for the 10. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you. Thank you so much. We've hit the giveaway. There we go. Oh, Josh. Right, okay. I get you. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted, buddy. Really appreciate it. That's really kind of you. And look at that. We've made the giveaway. We made the giveaway, baby. Thank you so much to Alexic for the 10 gifted. That's super generous. I really appreciate it. So we have hit the giveaway goal. So let's get a giveaway going. And also, if you've donated, become a member, gifted a super chat, gifted a member or whatever, now's the time. Now's the time to do it because we're going to be doing a marbles race. Okay? We're going to be doing a marbles race at the end of the stream. All right? So if you haven't already, now's the time to become a member. Now's the time to gift. Let's get a hype train going and let's type !Deathwatch because I can't think of anything else. I'm only thinking about Deathwatch. Where is it? !Deathwatch in chat. Marbles, this is Varak. Varak doesn't know what marbles is until I brought it to his attention. Every video idea of the concept that Varak has had that isn't talking about leaks, he nicked from me. It's true. It's true. He nicked it from me. So thanks, Alexei. Thanks for getting us over for the 10. So become a member right now. You get 10 entries to the initial giveaway instead of 1. If you grade name, you get 1. If you get 10, if you're a member, we are doing a first giveaway by typing !Deathwatch. And at the end of the stream, we'll do a marbles giveaway. Mike used to delete Skins Workshop. No, I don't. No, I don't, bro. But now's the time. Spam in if you'd like to enter. But if you are a member right now, you get 10 entries instead of 1. That's the main thing, okay? First giveaway is free. Free to enter. Second giveaway is free to enter as well. But if you become a member today, you got more chances of win. Mikey speaks and the lurker appears. It's funny because both me and Valrak both lurk in each other's streams for one of us to insult the other one so we can go, oh, you're a cunt. Alright, I'll be live. Valrak will be sat watching. He'll wait until someone insults Valrak and I insult him as well. He'll be like, Mikey, you're a cunt. And then Valrak will go live and he's like, Mikey, he doesn't even have any viewers. And I'm like, hey, bro, I'm right here, dickhead. Mikey doesn't leak, he can't read. That's right, Valrak can't read, so how could I leak anything? But if you just tuned in, make sure you type !Deathwatch. Now's the time. Thank you to everyone who's become members. I'm going to say thank you to you as well. I haven't forgot. Justice, thank you for the 20 months. Grimslayer, thanks for the gifted. Wargamer, thanks for the 4 months. Alexic, thank you for becoming a member as well. And David with the Blood Ravens profile picture, thank you for becoming a member, baby. Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate it. Look at that. We smashed through the goal. Again, if you'd like to become a member, now's the time. You're going to get more chances to win on the Wheel of Doom. We have a wheel that will be spinning ever so shortly. We've got a wheel that has a bunch of prizes, as you can see. Okay, a bunch of prizes. Look at it all there. There's some good objectives, some good bad objectives. There's some Elden Ring. There's some plastic objectives. There's a spearhead or combat patrol. There's some paper, the elite prize. Everyone loves a bit of paper. So now's the time. Exclamation point Death Watch. That's Deadpool. Oh, I thought he was a Blood Raven. Oh yeah, it is Deadpool. David, make sure you don't do it with a space. Just one word. Exclamation point Death Watch. What happens is I have this little thing here. Okay, channel member luck 10. Regular luck 1. So if you're a great name, 1 entry. If you're a channel member, 10 entries. Okay. All of these people have typed in chat, and if they've got a blue dot next to their name, that means they've typed exclamation point Discord, all one word, because that's the keyword. It's right there, as you can see. So all you have to do is type that in. It's free to enter, as I said. It's just people who are members have got more chances to win. They can type it 10 times for the price of 1. Whereas you, cringe grey name, can only type it once. I see you all. I see you all, cringe grey names. Okay. Even Virak's not even done it on enter. Okay, I'll leave that running for a short while. Okay, so make sure you type it. If you haven't typed it, make sure you do it now. But what was I saying? We're going to finish this article, then we'll do the giveaway. What's the dollar mean? It basically means you're a member. Okay. So the dollar here means it says channel member. Okay. Yours might not have registered because it didn't come through straight away. But if I refresh it, it'll probably catch up. But I've had this running since before you became a member. So if you got that, that means you've had 10 rather than 1. So yeah, so I think they should have separate points values for different supplements initially, but potentially detachments. Okay, because we know that Hypercrypt, the Necron detachment, the teleported detachment, a monolith is very different in that detachment compared to any other detachment. It functions, or it hyper performs. Okay. To a point where it's so good that Games Workshop put the points cost of the monolith up. But what that did is it nerfed the monolith in every other detachment where it doesn't function quite the same. Okay. So like, it's one of those. It's kind of like they probably should move towards this. They don't want to, but I think they should. You know, there's probably not a very clean way to do it, and that I don't totally understand. So that's like a really big thing. But I think this idea of bringing 2 points values is really good, but I want to see it expanded, basically. Okay, that's the new Death Watch article looked at. We're gonna have a look at Blood Angels as well, and then we're gonna do my complaints with Age of Sigmar. Okay. So we'll quickly look at the Blood Angels thing, then we'll run the giveaway. Okay. Games Workshop have shown off some new Blood Angels units, okay? They've showed off the Sanguinary Priest in Primaris form, and by that means they've just upscaled it. Okay, it looks exactly the same as the old one, bar the pose. There's no cup, except for this one. He's not holding the cup anymore. He's put it on his belt. Okay. There's a new Sanguinary Priest, Primaris. It's a very pretty model, okay? There's also a new captain, all right? There's also a new captain, which is actually really pretty, bar one thing. Chat, do you see it? Do you see the issue with the captain? You might be able to see the issue with the Sanguinary Priest. Yeah, he's a twink, but they've removed his nipples. Games Workshop, you cowards! Where are my golden nipples? They've removed the nipples from the new captain of the Sanguinary Priest. The iconic sculpted booby nips. The booby nips. Forever lost in our hearts, there are no longer little nipples to highlight. Justice for the twin nipples. There's no nipples for me to highlight bright silver anymore, which makes me very sad. So I'm thinking, chat, what if I get myself in trouble with Games Workshop once again, okay? And I design a 3D printable nipple. What if I design a 3D printable nipple to put back on the armor? I think this is what we have to do, okay? A little secret between us, alright? When the new Blood Angels come out, I'm tempted to 3D print some nipples to stick back on them. Because I think it'll look sick. I think it'll actually look sick, you know? I think it'll look really good if we just have like a little... Shall we do it? Shall we do it? Shall we find out? Is it green stuff cheaper? Right, okay, you go model little tiny little equally spaced, equally sized nipples, okay? Or I can just spend 20 minutes designing one, 20 minutes printing one, and then gluing it on. George Clooney disagrees. George Clooney batnips are elite. George Clooney batnips are elite, okay? Oh, I wanted that one, never mind. Right, okay, let's do this. This is what you watch my channel for. Elite conversions via Photoshop. Okay, we're just gonna borrow this one. That will do. Can you move the background? Perfect. Easy. This is the easiest Photoshop I've ever done. Right, let's do this properly. Can't believe I'm photoshopping nipples live on stream. Right, and then we flip that one horizontally to get the right lighting. God, it looks like Hugh Jackman in Deadpool 2. Deadpool 3 even. Come on now, chat. Tell me that's not better. Tell me that's not better. Are your nipples that low? No, but I'm going off the body armor. I'm going off the body armor. They're not going to be up in the middle, are they? Chat, I think we fixed it. Perfect, so we'll get him a job in the sculpting department. I fixed it, chat. I'm going to tweet it right now. Justice for the nipple. I need Twitter. Free the nipple. That's what we say. He's sagging lower than my grant. Right, okay. Let's do this. Sanguinary Priest. Look how low they are. Do you want them higher? Do you want me to put them higher? Is that what you're saying? Sanguinary Guard. Okay, okay. I hear you. I hear you, actually. I might have been wrong, alright? Okay, there. Oh, it keeps doing that. They're up a little bit. Right, okay. Let me fix it. There. Is that better? I think that's better. Nipples down by his knees. Knee nipples. Knee nipples. GW are going to send out a cease and desist. Cease and desist. Nip it in the bud. Brilliant. They're wonky. I'm not zoomed in, that's why. Of course they're wonky. Chat, I'm tweeting that one, okay? Gotta like my tweet. I tweeted earlier about it. The woke mob cancelled the sculpted nipples. They can't cancel my Twinkie nips. Done. Done. Fixed it. Fixed the terrible model with the Twinkie nipples. Chat, go like my tweet. It's sad that I've got no likes. Oh dear. Right, if you haven't already, type exclamation point Deathwatch because I'm about to run the giveaway. I'm about to run the giveaway, chat. I don't know why the word Twinkie is somehow straight coded. It's not. Okay, if you haven't, what's been happening? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? There it is. There it is. You've been typing exclamation point Deathwatch in chat. Okay. All of these people have. Decnal hasn't. Eternal Miniatures hasn't. Janitor P hasn't. Robert, Philip, Sabian haven't. Stein hasn't. They haven't typed exclamation point Deathwatch. Okay. Which means they haven't entered the giveaway. They haven't bothered entering. They are fighting for one of these prizes on here, as you can see. If you are a grey name, you get one entry. It's free to enter. Anyone can enter. Exclamation point Deathwatch. It says it on screen. It's been saying it on screen the entire time. Exclamation point Deathwatch to enter. Okay. If you are a green name, you get 10 entries. That's easy as that. Okay. Easy as that. And all of these people with the blue dot next to their name have entered. Are you in? Yeah. I'm visually impaired. My apologies. I haven't been shouting about it as well. Exclamation point Deathwatch. Oh, exclamation point twink nipples. Nice. Nice. They've only started the giveaway 5 minutes later. Years of yours and Kyrios hair colour. Right, we're in the giveaway. You're not in it. Congratulations to Cry Sander. I think you're wearing it. If not, unlucky. You're wearing it. Cry Sander. Well done. You've won. Are you here? Andrew, thanks for the teammate. Cry Sander, like, what the fuck, bruh? Bruh. Congratulations, Chrysander, you've just won. I know, you just won a giveaway. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Congratulations. You just won. It's not fucking bad, that is it. Not fucking bad, that is it. Fuck! I'm gonna buy a combat patrol now. Right, look, I don't normally do this, Chrysander, but I'm feeling very generous. Okay. I don't normally do this on the first giveaway, but I'm feeling very generous. You can take the Spearhead or Combat Patrol, or you could respin. Alright? Now, there's loads of great prizes on there, including Spearhead Combat Patrol Box. You could, if you so chose, do a respin. There's loads of cool prizes on there. Okay. I don't normally offer this, but I'm feeling super generous today. You could win some paper. But let me know. Again, a one-time chance. Again, you should be honoured that this chance has come your way. You could take the Spearhead, or you could respin. You could get a Spearhead or Combat Patrol Box. You let me respin. I said message me. You never messaged me. You've got like a day left to get it. All those members are going to pay for the Spearhead. That's true. Respin, see if you can get it, and then he can't wiggle his way out. I'm not wiggling my way out. The thing is, chat, is if Chrysander wins, that means you can't win. Think about it that way. I have, if the Spearhead gets one, I have to press high choice. I can't put another one in there. So, Chrysander, what are we up to? What's going on? He wants the box, he said he's Australia, then he gets a voucher. I could put another one on there. Lad, do you know how much money I make from 15 members? Not a Spearhead. Not a Combat Patrol. Somehow I feel like a respin won't be happening. Chat, you've been scammed by Chrysander. Alright, mate. Drop me a DM. Drop me a DM. Where are you based? Are you which country? Are you UK, US, Australia? Somewhere else? UK. Cool. Alright, mate. Well, drop me a DM on Discord. Discord in chat. Shoot me a DM and I'll get one shipped out to you this week. And let me know which one you want as well. Alright, chat. It's gone. No more Spearhead. No more Spearhead, I'm afraid. What can I say? What can I say? Unlucky. Unlucky. It's gone. It had to be won eventually. It wasn't on there for very long, though. Mikey Googly cheapest Spearhead. How many members add another Spearhead? Okay. If you would like to know the full ins and outs. Okay. Shall we do the maths? Shall we do the maths? Okay. Let's get paint. Okay. Spearhead. God damn it. Spearhead. What the fuck? Why is it not drawing? Oh, it's because I've got the there. That's right. Spearhead. Equal, let's say £90 on average. If you choose Spearhead, will Combat Patrol stays a choice? No. Spearhead is £90. Okay. Member. £5. Okay. Let's do that as the pound side. 5. But I don't get 5. I get 70% of that. Okay. Because YouTube takes their cut. Okay. Okay. 70%. What's 70% of £5? £3.50. That's how much I get. Okay. Combat Patrol is 100 quid. I'd say average because Spearheads and Combat Patrols are £90. Like there's like average. So to get 90 with that, how many do we need? How many do we need? $25 bits. Let's say 26. How many members do I average a stream? Stream average. Equals 15. I probably won't be adding a spearhead for a little bit. Don't forget to tell them about the tax you have to pay. Also true, taxes. This is not equal. We're doing it upside down. So 1.5 streams. Okay. But then how do I pay for the other prizes? And how do I earn money? How do I earn a wage, chap? I love MS Paint's maths. That's true. MS Paint's maths is fun. But what this means is spearhead, no more spearhead. Take a wage out. I know. Imagine trying to put a wage. He's trying to get you out of it. No, Christ has won. Chat's like, put another one in. I'm like, no, I can't. Okay. I can't just drop another one in straight away. Chat, you've got to make it worth it. You've got to enjoy the other prizes. What if the wheel was all spearheads? Okay. Then we can do it an average of 1 time. All spearheads. All spearheads once. Okay. I can't write as well as fucking pirate software. Okay. If we do all spearhead, we can only do it once. However, the trade-off of all spearhead for 1 spin is that I can't afford to do the streams after that because it can't spin it again. Okay, so when's the next spearhead going to be added? Maybe every time we hit a new 100 members. Okay, so let's say if we hit 600, I'll add another one. Or an epic stream, that would be. Yes, it would be great, giving away 300 quid. It would be cool. Paper legit best prize anyway, that's true. That's true. So I'm thinking maybe if we hit 600 members total, then we can do another spearhead, okay? And then if we get it if we get it below, if we go below like the end of the month, maybe we'll have to readdress. Do everyone every 150 members. That won't be too bad now. Get a Wonga loan to afford it. Look, chat, I don't think you're understanding how giveaways work. They're not supposed to be, I spend loads of money and then just have to get loans out. It's supposed to generate income. You just make me laugh. You're all so funny. Technically, when you buy them, they're tax deductible for you. Okay, so I didn't reduce the tax, but I also didn't add the tax either from the income. So it cancels itself out, kinda. Yeah, sorry, Dan. I know you're saying it right. I'm afraid. It's fucking working. I'd give some members to balance it slightly, but anniversary this month, so I'm a bit broke. I'm not trying to guilt trip you, Chrysander. You earned it fair and square. Mike, you have to get a part-time job with GW just to afford his streams. That's funny. That's funny. So I'll add some other prizes. It won't be a spearhead for a little bit. Okay. When we hit 600 members, if we hit 600 members, I'll add another spearhead. But it's funny. You're all very, very funny. But if you'd like to win one of the prizes that are still remaining, then make sure you become a member or gift a membership or super chat. You'll be entered into a marbles race. Add 20 options of toilet roll to the wheel. Thing is with it is I've got loads of prizes, like physical prizes that I could give away, but it's like if someone's in the US, I can't ship them. That's the problem. Okay. Okay. Let's chat about Age of Sigmar, shall we? Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes of this stream, in the middle of the pie, at the end of the street, is Age of Sigmar. So, I've been playing a lot of Age of Sigmar. Been playing a lot of Age of Sigmar on the channel. Been having a great time. It's really fun. And I think, overall, if you wanted to compare Age of Sigmar launch to 40k launch, because Age of Sigmar 4 has been out for about a month now, I would say. I think it came out, I think it was on pre-order like end of June, and we're in August now. So it's been out around a month. A lot of people have had it in hands for a good couple of weeks, if not a little bit longer, if not slightly shorter. But a good couple of weeks is probably a good like vibe of where people are with it now. And if you wanted to look at the Age of Sigmar launch compared to the 40k launch, they're very, very different, you know. I think Age of Sigmar, the launch of it, has been a lot cleaner compared to 40k. I think they've taken a lot on from 40k and learned from their mistakes and done it better themselves. It's been like 2 weeks. I suppose I've had it longer, right? I think it's been out on the shelf for 3 weeks. When did it actually come out? Was it? It was on pre-order the 29th, right? So 13. So it's 1, 2, 3.5 weeks. Chat, when did Scave and Tide come out? I think it's 3.5 weeks it's been out to the public, you know. But obviously, like, the rules were out early and all that shit. 13th it came out. Yeah, so 3.5 weeks then. Like yesterday. Basically yesterday. So, Age of Sigmar's been out for a good couple of weeks now. People have got it in hands. There's tournaments happening. There's people playing it. There's people building it. I'm having a great time with it. I think it's a really, really fun game. I'm honestly really enjoying it. I'm enjoying playing it on the channel a lot more because it's like reactive but like less intense than 40k. And I think because you don't have to hide or think about hiding too much, it's like really nice to just like a good chill game. But I do think there's some very real problems with Age of Sigmar, okay? Now, these very real problems are just little things that have either slipped under the radar or just don't quite work or are just deemed a little bit too strong for the game that we want to play, you know? The game we're all really hyped for. Because ultimately, I'm not sitting here saying Age of Sigmar is a really bad game, because it isn't. It's a really fun game. I do, however, feel like there's a couple of things that they could do. They could like take home, work on, maybe release a small FAQ to help the game on the initial launch. Because ultimately, whilst it's only been out for a couple of weeks, the release cycle is going to start very soon, okay? We have a preview in 5 days for Skaven and Stormcast, because I think it's Skaven because they won the like campaign they do with the start of the launch box, right? I think we're going to see Skaven initial launch. We're going to see Stormcast launch as well, because they're the two factions that are in the starter box. So we're going to see battle tones. We're going to see new units. We're going to see loads of new crazy stuff, right? And then we're going to be on the release train, okay? And that's just going to keep adding loads and loads of problems into Age of Sigmar, because while they keep building on the core rules, everyone's on the same playing field right now, but as they keep adding stuff, there's going to be more and more stuff that basically smacks into each other, stops working, grinds and whatever. That always happens, you know? That always happens. So I think what we could do, I thought what we could do today, is have a little chat about the things that I think are problematic in Age of Sigmar that could do with a little change, a little nerf or a little boost here and there. And... And also, what's funny, Big C, is, spoilers alert for the stream, if you had started with 20 victory points, I would have still won. Love you, bro. Thanks for the 13 months. What I thought we could say is sit here and, like, I'll tell you the things that I've noticed while playing games, which I think is really strange and a little bit broken, a little bit strong, or a little bit weak. And then maybe you guys in chat can also raise some stuff, and we can kind of have a discussion about each point and try and like work out what Games Workshop should look at doing if they want to make this game actually perfect, because I think it's very, very close, okay? And everything that is said on this stream, I might send in an email, you know? Because they're constantly asking me for like feedback, and I feel like they never listen, but I might just email my GW rep and be like, hey, look, we put this together, send it to the AOS team, do what you want, okay? This long into Leviathan, Mikey had already broke the rules. This long into Leviathan, I'd already broke the rules about 4 times. You know? I'd already broke the rules about 4 times at this point. So, comparatively, the launch is going pretty well. But I thought what we could do is sneeze. It's gone. Ah! I thought what we could do is get out a trusty notepad. Okay. A trusty notepad and have a look at what I think's good, bad, or shit about the game. Okay. Ugh. 40k, there's a lot of issues. We found the date sheets that had glaring errors. Yeah, exactly. Like on the run up to with 40k, I got on the run up to 40k. We spotted a lot of things that were like problems essentially. So let's get the big one out the way. Okay, let's get the big one out the way. When Age of Sigmar launched, one of the first things that I said is the barrier to entry to Age of Sigmar was a lot higher because now manifestations are crucial to play Age of Sigmar because without manifestations, okay, without manifestations, you are just playing on the back foot, okay? If you are playing the identical list and you bring terrain and your opponent doesn't, the faction terrain, you're playing a better army. If you both bring the faction terrain, but you then bring a manifestation law, even if it's the Codex one or the faction one, you're still playing a better army, okay? So manifestations have quickly become very, very popular because they are free, okay? So again, you need them to play because everybody has them, and not taking them, you are paying for a unit without being able to use its full capability. Now, I personally think endless spells or manifestations being free is bad, okay? I think personally, like manifestations being free is actually crazy, okay? Because what we're seeing is the best manifestation law popping up in every list, okay? In every list it's popping up, okay? Primal Energy is the most popular one. That is the Purple Sun, it's the Shackles, it's the Gravetide, I think. Let me just, it might be the Malevolent, not the Shackles. Let me just double check. Jake, thanks for the 19 months. Really appreciate it. Is it? Are they in the app? Primal Energy. No, it's not Primal Energy. Which one is it? It's Morbid Conjuration. Sorry, my apologies. I got that wrong. Okay. Morbid Conjuration, which is the Malevolent Maelstrom, it's the Purple Sun of Shaiish, it's the Soul Snare Shackles, and it's the Suffocating Greystide, okay? What we're seeing in the initial launch of Age of Sigmar is manifestations are taken in every army because there's no reason not to, okay? But the most popular ones is definitely things like Soul Snare Shackles and Suffocating Gravetide, okay? Primus and Poor Man's Morbid. My apologies, I got that complete. Just got the wrong name. I was talking about the right one though. Okay. Now, as rightfully said, if they make them pointed, I feel like they'll not be used again. But the thing is with it is manifestations are by far one of the best units in the game, you know. It's one of the best units in the game. Because they don't cost anything to keep bringing back on. It's essentially like a unit that you can reinforce for free every turn. All you have to do is roll the right dice, you know? Now, obviously, like, we're talking about some generic ones with Purple Sun of Shaiish and Soul Snare Shackles. Off the top of my head, I don't know what these do, okay? I know the Gravetide's really sick, really, really strong. I don't know what the Soul Snare Shackle does. I'm sure it slows things down. Okay? So the Soul Snare Shackles is for each part of the manifestation, you pick an enemy within 3 inches to be a target, and it comes in 3 parts. Okay. Roll a d3 on the target on a 2+, so on a 3 or a 3+ on the dice. Inflict an amount more damage on the target. Subtract a number of subtract a number of inches equal to the roll for the target's move characteristic for the rest of the turn. Okay. Which is obviously like pretty good. It's pretty decent, and it's in any hero phase. The Purple Sun goes around and just fucking fucks shit up, you know? It does loads of damage. The Gravetide being the crucial one, because the Gravetide is very, very strong. The Suffocating Gravetide has 8 attacks, which is crazy. 2s, 3s, Ren 1, 2 damage on the charge. Okay, it's 1 damage otherwise, but 2 damage on the charge. And also, this manifestation can move up to its move characteristic. It can pass through models during that move, because essentially it flies. It just can't land in combat. That's the main thing. It flies over you, but it says it moves through. Then you can pick an enemy unit that's passed across. Roll a dice for each model in the target unit on a 5+ inflict 1 mortal wound. Okay. And it has 12-inch move, 8 health, and a 6-up ward. Okay. So you've got all of these really, really good units that when they die, you roll 2 dice and they just come back. For the sake of not being able to cast one of your normal spells, which for a lot of factions, I think there's like 2 spells you want to cast and you've probably got 2 casters, so you can only cast 1. Okay. But with manifestations, you've got like 4 spells you want to cast because you want to bring on your free unit, because that's ultimately what they are. Whilst they don't function correctly, okay, while they don't function just like any other unit, a lot of the time, they are free, and they are a free unit that are good for disrupting your opponent by attacking them. They're good for disrupting your opponent in terms of move blocking, and they're good for your disrupting your opponent because you can keep bringing them back, okay? So, I think we're all in agreement that manifestations being free is bad, okay? And I don't think anyone can sit here and go, no, Mikey, you're completely wrong. Because I think having 0 points cost for all of the manifestations tells you that they are all equally worth nothing, where actually some manifestation laws are worth far more than others, and vice versa. Some are worth far less than others. Okay? Because, like, you've got things like the Horrors of the Necropolis, which I love to use, you know? The Horrors of the Necropolis, it's like, I have a Death Incarnate. It's a really good combat unit, you know? If you kill it, if you unbind it or whatever, on a 4+, it just comes back. End of any turn, you know? You do anything to it, you kill it in combat, you banish it, I banish it, I kill it in combat, you know, or I send it in something and it just dies. I can, on a 4+, it just comes back for free, which is hilarious, you know? Now, I wonder if I banish it and then I summon a new one, does another one come back on a 4+? Where is he? What's he called? Horrors of the Necropolis. Nightmare Predator, that's it. Abilities. Death Incarnate. If it's destroyed or banished this turn, and the unit that summoned it is on the battlefield, roll a dice and a 4+, set up this manifestation again, wholly within 12 of that unit that summoned it, and more than 9 away from enemy units. I wonder if there's any rules that say you can't have 2. If I banish it, re-summon it, and then on a 4+, it comes back because of Death Incarnate. So ultimately, that's probably way better than some of the other faction manifestations that you might have, you know. Played against Sylvaneth, I found, and seeing Fit Sylvaneth played, I found that those manifestations aren't super great. They're very situational. Whereas the ones I've been playing, because I've been playing a lot of Bone Reapers, even though arguably they're not the strongest ones, you probably want the Morbid Conjuration, or whatever it's called. They're really good. They're probably better than the other ones. And they're all the same points cost. So I do think having a points cost for a lore is probably okay, you know? Otherwise, 3 Cron Spines. I don't think the Cron Spine comes back, bud. You know? The reason the Nightmare Predator does, because it has the rule, right? Of coming back on a 4+. The point is the Nightmare Predator is banished. Okay. But then you resummon it. But then Death Incarnate says any turn it's been banished on a 4+, you set 1 back up. It's not unique. Which I thought was funny. So I think the other thing with manifestations being free is bad. Okay. And I think we're all in agreement. Magical Intervention. God, I can't spell. Magical Intervention on manifestations is crazy. You can't have 2 of the same manifestations. Okay, fair enough. Is that just because of the law, or what's the limit? As I said, it's not like you're not like summoning the same one twice. You've summoned one, then managed it, and then you summon another one. It's weird anyway. The point being is magical intervention on manifestations is crazy. So magical intervention is essentially spending a command point to cast a spell in your opponent's turn. Okay. So during the hero phase, your opponent's done all their spells and stuff. For 1 command point, you can cast a spell, and that spell can be a manifestation. I think this, with manifestations being free, is actually wild. Because what you can see time and time again, like I mentioned the shackles, right? Like I mentioned the shackles. If I'm playing an opponent and I've got shackles, okay, they have their hero phase, right? They plan their turn, they choose their battle tactic, okay, and then I go, right, I'm going to use magical intervention, I'm going to drop shackles, I'm going to reduce your army's movement by D3, you know? So now they can't get to the middle, they can't get to the sides, etc., and you just slow them down, you know? On Friday, with Big C took Seize the Center as his first battle tactic. Okay, and his plan was he put a no hole down, he took Seize the Center, and he was going to like just pop something out in the middle and call it a day. You know? What I did was use magical intervention and just dropped the Nightmare Predator in the middle of the board. And because the Nightmare Predator is a manifestation, but it's has a move characteristic, for when Big C is moving or setting up units, it counts as a unit, you know? It counts as a unit. So basically what that means is if there's anything that says you can't set up within 9 of an enemy unit, you can't set up within 9 of the manifestation. So what I did was, it was quite hilarious at the time. It was actually hilarious when it happened. But as you can see, we've just finished deploying. Okay. Big C's set up in the middle. Big C, we've got the coin in the middle because he's taking C's the center.
That is the
power level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to be right cheeky now. Here it is. Drop this. There.
You're joking. That's got a move characteristic and I can't.
It sure does.
Fuck.
So there's the center. He's not moved yet, obviously. He's had his hero phase. But he dropped the no hole here because his plan was to teleport something here, or deep strike or whatever. Warp lightning cannon, storm fiends, etc. And then put the clan rats in the middle. There's Seize the center, you know? But what I did was just like, all right, I'm going to spend 1 command point, all right? I'm going to cast 1 spell. I get +1 to cast, so even though I'm -1 to cast because of the stratagem or whatever, I get +1 to cast now because of my detachment. So on a 7, which is average, I stop you doing your battle tactic. Or at least make your battle tactic very difficult, okay? Because I just dropped this here, so he couldn't teleport here, so he had to play way more aggressive with his clan match. He had to play way more aggressive with Lord Screech. And I think, honestly, this... Not to like discredit Big C's tactical acumen, I think this really threw him off turn 1 because he was like, I'm gonna go first, take Seize the center, kill loads of stuff. Now on one hand, you can kind of go, well, Mikey, that's super interactive, because even though your opponent is going first, you are still interacting in the game with him, because they are taking Caesar center and you get to play because of the reactive nature of Age of Sigmar. And to that I say I totally agree. But when the reactive nature is bringing on a spell that stops him getting his battle tactic, which he then kills, and then it teleports back in on a 4+ in my turn, which he can then move and charge in that turn, is a little wild, in my opinion. You know? If he had dispelled it, it would have been a different game. He could have dispelled it, but the problem is usually you want to cast all your spells. So what you're saying is whilst ever your opponent's got a command point, you want to be able, you basically don't want to cast with one of your spellcasters, you know? 0 cost reactive action that screws up everything. It actually costs 1 command point, but I start with 5 because my list is like less than, it's 50 points down, you know? So basically that's what happened in this game. It's a great game, you know?
I think it's within 12. Let me just double check. It might be a bit closer. Yeah,
So that manifestation drops there,
units, which I am.
as you can see. And I'm just like, there you go. Get the middle now. And bearing in mind, you've got to be within 3, and you can't move within 3 of this unless you charge it. So it's actually just the, like, manifestation in your opponent's turn is crazy. Unminding does not cost a cast. I think it does. Does it not? The thing is, it's very confusing because there's some that do and some that don't, okay? But even so, I roll dice, your opponent rolls lower, it still happens, you know? I go, I've rolled a 7, you roll a 3. I think it's just something to be aware of. In AOS 3, some battle tactics were auto-scoring, there was no risk, and they were impossible to stop. Totally agree. Like, the 2 advanced ones, the 2 run ones are crazy. But I think, like, this is, like, an example of, like, well, it's very interactive, okay? It's very interactive. But also, that's just a free unit that I've put in the middle of the board, you know? That's just a free unit. So, yeah, I've kind of denied Big C getting an auto battle tactic on one hand. On the other hand, he kills it on a 4+, it comes back, you know? That could have been shackles to just slow his army down. He could have gone, oh, these are the only 2 units that can make it. I'm going to drop shackles here, and then these 2 units are minus D3 move. Maybe you could take Gravetide, you know, and just go, right, it's there. Whatever. Banishing and casting prayer, the same pool of power level. Unbinding is separate. Oh, okay. The thing is with it, chat, is, yeah, I agree as well. It's very interactive. I don't just have to watch Big C score 10 points. But this is a free unit that even if it didn't come back on a 4+, in the next turn, I can just bring it straight back. Okay? Which, thematically, is very, very cool. Because I've had my endless spells since they came out for Aussie Outbow Reapers, and I've never used them as much, okay? However, to me, it feels like that is a no-risk max reward play. All it cost me is 1 command point. That is the risk. I spent a command point and I have to roll dice, okay? That's the risk. But all day will I spend one of my, 20 to 25 command points for a chance of stopping my opponent scoring almost 10% of the entire game. You know? For one of my 25 potential command points, again, minimum 20. Minimum 20, because if you're underdog, you get more. I start with 21 because I'm 50 points down. You know, I have 21 over the game. Every day will I spend 1 CP to roll a 7 on 2d6 to deny my opponent 4 points. The big frustration is the £50 box and the £30 faction terrain. I totally agree. I did do a whole video about that, though, which I've not really, like, gone over it. You know? So I think stuff like this It's very strange. Because, and again, I think this does boil down to manifestation shouldn't be free. Because it's free, it costs me 1 command point to deny Big C a point. 4 points, which is cool. I'll just at least make his 4 points a lot more difficult. But that's the pro of Age of Sigmar as well. It is so interactive that you are not just sitting there waiting for your opponent to do their turn and score 10 points, which is actually a real plus. I just think maybe magical intervention when casting manifestations should be a little bit harder. If they're going to remain free, it needs to be a bit more difficult. So that's kind of where I'm at, you know? If they're going to be free, that's bad. That's bad. But I think magical intervention casting manifestations for just -1 cast is a bit crazy. Magical intervention should be 2 CP. You know, I think you're onto something there, Mark. I think magical intervention should be 2 CP for manifestations. You know? Because then it's a little bit more of a resource. You know? But since they are free and that meta spells come in a pack with most of the neutral spells, what is the problem? The other can also pick those one. The thing is with it is not every army has access to wizards for a start. You know? It's at -1 cast, you still get to try and abide. For sure. But giving one of my units strike first and bringing on a whole unit is obviously like a very different power level. And I think that should be reflected in the way it's cast. Either make it even harder to cast. Maybe manifestations are -2 when using magical intervention. Or make it 2 CP. You know? Khorne can't summon the universal ones. Yeah, Khorne, Caradon Overlords, I don't think they can take wizards. Gargants, I don't think they can take wizards. And also, yeah, it's a barrier to entry because they're all expensive. So I think magical intervention should be 2 CP for manifestations. Or even harder to cast. -2 for manis. Call them manis. Garlics and carrot. Yeah, do they have the spell in the bottle now, right? So I think specifically for magical intervention, it should be a little bit harder because I think just -1 when a normal spell is -1 for 1 CP is a bit crazy, you know. I think that's a little bit wild. I might be wrong. This is mostly my opinion. I'm reading chat. You know, I said it was crazy. Maybe we should get rid of it, but also I kind of see that it's a very interactive. You know. So maybe they should be -2. Just a little bit harder to cast if they're going to remain free. The only army that can't take any type of manifestation is Caradron. Yeah, Caradron can't take any. Khorne and Fireslayers are limited to exclusively theirs. So as we've said, my manifestations are arguably better than Sylvaneth, but they cost the same amount of points. And what if their prayers, I don't know what they do off the top of my head, their prayers could be shit compared to, like, think about it. Fireslayers have manifestations, great. They have 3. Whereas I, at list step, have access to like 25 as a cat with 1 wizard. You know what I mean? 3 compared to 25. Obviously, I don't think there's a little bit of fairness which I think should be brought over. And usually the difference is if you have access to 3 and I have access to 25, there's a points cost. That's what I'm trying to say. So ultimately, I think manifestations being free is bad, but if we talk about exclusive points I'm trying to make, if they make them cost points, suddenly magical intervention doesn't seem as strong. That's essentially where we're at, you know? The use of manifestations, like in this example, is a brilliant for the dynamic of the game. Again, we keep like Big C is the guy I played on Friday. Again, it was very funny because it just felt super interactive, which is super cool. But they should have a cost value. It'll be more difficult to summon outside of your turn, which I totally agree with. Again, I think the fact that you can just summon them in your opponent's turn for just -1 to cast does feel a bit wild, you know? Again, Bone Reapers get +1 to cast, so there's no minus, you know, if you take that battle formation. So yeah, so manifestations, all that shit, pretty crazy. Pretty cuckoo, I would say. Now, I asked the Discord, Discord, for more points we could talk about, you know. And I've also got some notes that I wrote down as well after playing a couple of games. Okay. In my opinion, you should get a manifestation law or a spell law, but not both. Yeah, that could work. That'd be a nice way to do it, to be fair, because then you just got, like, you're really limiting yourself then, you know. But then you could say, well, what about War Scroll spells, like Nagash's Hand of Dust, you know? Again, all my examples, because I've not been able to play loads of my factions, I've only been playing Bone Reaper, so all my examples are going to be bone-based. Bone examples. So you got, like, Hand of Dust or Curse of Years War Scroll spells. So now you can choose... I feel that's not too bad because most casters have a decent War Scroll spell as well. Hand of Dust is a rampage now. Oh, I thought it was just a spell still. Okay, so like, let's say Curse of Years. That's a spell, right? On Archon? I didn't realise it wasn't a spell anymore. Yeah, so like Curse of Years. So you'd be able to cast Curse of Years and then a Manifestation Law, which wouldn't be too bad, I don't think. That wouldn't be awful. So yeah, so basically I wrote some notes down of things I wanted to talk about. I think manifestations is like the big talking point of what's really broken in Age of Sigmar right now. I do think it's worth talking about. I do think it's worth trying to come up with ways you could fix it. Because I do think if you ask anyone about what they enjoy about Age of Sigmar, they're going to talk about loads of different things. But if you ask them what's broken, manifestation is probably going to be one of the initial talking points. When I asked in Discord earlier, !Discord, as I mentioned, I basically tagged everybody and I said, if you could change one thing in Age of Sigmar, what would you change? And a lot of the talk was about manifestations, you know? But if you've got anything that you've thought about that isn't specifically related to manifestations, you know, or is like a different point that we've not talked about, now I think, now if you could like point chat, I don't know why I'm struggling with that. I'm reading chat while trying to talk. If you found anything in Age of Sigmar that you don't like, that, or like generically the core rules you don't like, and you think could do with like a little change, or you think there's a pretty weird interaction, now's the time to bring it up, you know, because we can talk over it, you know. So I'm just going to catch up with Discord just to make sure I've not missed anything. Now, Mercenary said the regiment system is too restrictive. So regiments is basically how you build an army, right? So to build a regiment, you take a hero, and then you can add particular units to a regiment, which is essentially like a detachment, to that regiment, depending on what hero you take. So they have like a list of keywords that they're allowed to take, or a list of type of units they can take. And then when you deploy them, they drop down as a one drop. They go down together. Now you can deploy it as a single unit, one at a time, or you can deploy it as a complete one drop regiment altogether. Now, Mercenary said regiment system's too restrictive. Now, maybe you in chat can agree with Mercenary or you can disagree, you know, because that's kind of like what I want to do, like a conversation. I think I've said my piece about manifestations. I've got some other things I want to bring up, but I want to bring conversation to you and ask you, you know. But I personally don't think regiments are too restrictive. I think they're actually way too easy because a lot of the time, a lot of lists you're seeing an average of 3 drop armies, you know, but regiments in certain armies can make 3 drop or 2 drop armies very difficult to build. I don't think restrictive is the right word. What word would you use, Grim? Because Mercenary was saying in the Discord, it makes list building not fun and just about manipulations for drops. The problem I have is you're forced to pick 2 wizards and you lost the rest of the characters. I suppose with cities, that's like a funny one. I don't know much about cities, but I know they're a little bit of like a convoluted system for list building, which is like probably a problem. But yeah, like you don't have to go for the minimum amount of drops. It just means you are either restricted because you want a first turn, you want the option for first turn, or you don't play a regiment system. You take as many units as you want. You outdrop your opponent by loads by dropping 1 unit at a time and then just never get to decide who goes first. First turn is why regiments suck. Could you fix by saying who finishes deploying first wins ties for turn? So you wanted another roll-off? So basically, I think what people are saying is drop first, go first is awkward when the regiment system is too restrictive. Maybe? Roll off will be better for first. Interesting. Love using a whole drop on a 110-point wizard. Good at you. I suppose what you're saying is, the thing is with it is what regiments do is kind of like control list building, so you can't just take all of the shit you want and get a 1-drop. You know? I think I would say streamlined. The system feels very punishing for some armies and very good for others. So that's not streamlined? I'm like, Mr. Drama. There's not much drama. We're talking about our problems there, Sigmar, right? To make a proper Ideneth army, you need 3 to 4 characters. That's 3 to 4 drops, and half those drops are a single guy. I suppose my lack of understanding of other armies is probably going to make me feel or sound quite like I don't know what I'm on about. But is it not a case of not needing to take 4 characters, but taking 4 characters is better for the army to function, but it does mean you're sacrificing first turn? So could you not build the list without the couple of characters? Some armies rely on lots of characters and it punishes you too hard with regiments. I think that's what they kind of want to do, right? I think the whole point of regiments is to try and stop spam of stuff or taking too much of it a good thing. And then you don't have to take those regiments, but you'll be punished by not being able to decide the game start, you know? How important is going first? It's not about going first. It's about being potentially forced to go first or missing out on going first, right? If you run one regiment, you are locked to 5 units, and your opponent's on a guard gets bonuses against your whole army. Regiments is better. Yeah, I honestly, like, whilst it makes list building a bit frustrating, if you're like, oh, I actually want... Because, like, I'm trying to put an Iron Jaws list together, and there I am having a problem, you know? Because I'm like, I want a War Chanter. I want a Shaman. I want a Mega Boss. I want a Mega Boss or Maw Crusher. And I'm like, oh my god, that's 4 drops or 3 drops. You know? I think what we're seeing, or what maybe is the problem that people might be having, is regiments is forcing a type of like archetype of a list where people probably don't want that, you know. We're essentially restricted on character slots because you need minimum drops, so you need 2 wizards. There's not much choice left. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because I think sometimes if you're playing against a high-level wizard, like if you've got to go against Nagash or something, you're going to need like 2 wizards, right? You've got to kind of plan for having 2 wizards. So that's 2 regiments done. Your max going to have 1 more. I also think people are still using GW games rolling with 4 to 6 heroes, whereas this edition you're most likely running 2 heroes and a foot ton of troops. That's kind of like my initial thinking, you know? I think that's my initial thinking because I've been running 3 characters and just loads of infantry and doing quite well with it. And I think people want to take the big monsters and the big characters, but I think they're trying to force you to only take a small handful, you know, like 2 to 3. But yeah, as I said, I'm trying to build an Iron Jaws list for another game. You know? But like trying to take multiple characters is proving difficult. But yeah, cavalry and hordes are definitely seen being king right now. Maybe too emphasis on being put on wizards. So maybe because of manifestations, you know, because of manifestations, that people feel like they need to take multiple wizards so they can cast manifestations and banish them. So they're feeling the regiment system is too harsh because of manifestations. So it kind of leads into this. So this isn't the point, right? Wizards. It's just manifestations are the main problem. This should be 1.1. You know, and they should be 1.2. Wizards become too crucial. 2 minimum. To cast slash banish. So regiment system feels harsh. Maybe that's where we're at. Otherwise, you've got to hope you roll a mission with the place of power, and the place of power doesn't kill you. Yeah, true. GW lead with the modularity thing. Do you think TOs will utilize that for manifestations? Honestly, no, mate. I think people want to just play the full game of Age of Sigmar without, like, having to house rule things. Everyone wants to be on the same page no matter what tournament they go to. We've learned that over the past couple of years. For 3 editions, they were pushing heroes so hard, and some armies are 50% heroes. So now suddenly going back on that feels a bit shit. Yeah, I get that. I think what they're really pushing for is big monster centerpiece heroes. You know? Where focus? Yeah. So yeah, I think manifestation is ultimately what's causing the most problems. You know? Yeah, I agree, Messi. I don't think people will drop a module. I think people just want the game to be fixed, you know? What's the next one? I'm just going to my notes. I'm just going to randomly pick, you know? Let's go for Underdog. Underdog. Feels mediocre. Mission dependent. I think the concept of Underdog sounds really good. You know? I think the concept of Underdog sounds really good. You know? Oh, you get an extra command point. Pretty nice. And the twist usually benefits you. But sometimes I'm finding that, like, the Underdog mechanic doesn't feel as impactful as it could, you know? Now, again, this is mission dependent, okay? Because when I played against Leah, we played Jaws of Galay, right? And the Underdog removes an objective. That's pretty hype, okay? Taking a whole objective away from your opponent is really, really hype. You know? I think that's really sick. That's a really good Underdog mechanic. But the one we played with Big C the other day was essentially 6 objectives. Feral Foray, I think it's called. And essentially the Underdog... The twist is like you can turn one of the objectives off and until the next battle round. You can't score it. But if you are the Underdog, you don't have to hold the objective. You just have to contest it. Which is kind of like... A lot of it's in the opponent's territory. If you're the Underdog, you probably don't want to turn an objective off because you're probably not holding that many. That's why you're the Underdog. So I found that, like, turning one off is just crazy. You just, like, would never bother. You know? And like the other one we played where the Underdog could make... It was like the 5 objectives and there's like the center one. There's 2 flank and 2 home objectives. And then the Underdog can flip the middle one either to home or flank. I don't think that made much difference anyway because the Underdog is probably not holding the middle. Again, that's why they're the Underdog. So I think some missions, not all missions, feels great. And it's like useful when it's great. But I'm finding like, again, I haven't played every single mission, you know? I haven't played every single mission 10 times to go, you know what? That is statistically better than this one. But just from a vibe check, you know? I think Underdog feels a little bit mediocre in some missions and really good in others. I don't think it's like, again, it's not equal across missions, which, you know, you could say adds flavour. But I also think that having an equal twist in each one for the Underdog keeps the game flowing and really nice, you know? So Jaws is a little own mini game where you're playing chicken with the points against your opponents the whole game. Yeah, for sure. Which I think is a really nice thing. Again, I think Jaws of Galay is a really good mission. In the mission Scorched Earth, the Underdog could remove objective markers in your opponent's deployment zone that the Underdog controls. When would you do that? Yeah, that's the thing, right? That's going to be like the... I don't know where the objectives are in that mission. But you can remove them in your opponent's deployment zone. But if you're there, you're probably in a strong position anyway. Or you just teleported on... I suppose you could teleport onto it with like some cheeky units. But yeah, that just feels like a... like not super strong. It's like if I'm holding the objectives in my opponent's deployment zone, I'm probably in a strong position, which probably means I'm not the underdog, which means this isn't going to come up. It's only like for like really weird clutch situations. You know? Can we get it? I did have the cards online yet. I don't have mine here. I left them at Sanctuary. Goonhammer does. Scorched Earth. It's the 8 objective one, right? 8 objectives. That's really good. I wish I had some objectives, which you can get by typing exclamation point shop or leave the link in the description. Got all of my objectives in stock. Overgrown. Urban. Special Age of Sigmar themed Desert Realm. You can get those at exclamation point shop or hellstormwargaming.co.uk/shop. But yeah, so this one, Scorched Earth, hold 1, hold 2 or more. This one barely resembles the original for some reason. The play is completely different. The original mission had players take long edges instead of short edges. What? They are long edges. Underdog can choose one of the objectives in their territory that they control. The enemy controllers get less than 5. Oh, I think you've told... Have you quoted this wrong? It says you can get rid of the ones in your deployment zone. That's not a bad one, to be fair. It's kind of like self-sabotage. The underdog can choose one of the objectives in their territory that they control. The enemy score is less than 5. The opponent, this forces the opponent to commit more forces than they might otherwise have to capture an objective. I think you're talking about Feral Foray. Yeah, Feral Foray is just turn off the objectives. This is not burn. Grimslayer says in Scorched Earth, which is why I was confused. I was referring to Feral Foray. Grimslayer was talking about a mission, but the twist was wrong. That's fine. All good. So yeah, I think the problem is like the underdog twist doesn't feel equal on a lot of missions. Some missions it feels really good. Some missions feels like it's like some missions feels really good to a point where you are tiptoeing the points to try and remain the underdog until you aren't no longer the underdog because you're about to win. You know? Some feel fine, like forgettable almost, and some feel like I don't even care about this. It makes no difference. You know? Because, like, I'm the underdog, but this'll just never happen. It's also you move an objective you hold in enemy territory. The underdog can choose one of the objectives in their territory. This might be quite wrong, to be fair. I'm relying on Goonhammer because I don't have the cards on me. The ability objective to try and deny your opponent getting 1-2 more. Yeah, I understand how the mission works. I understand the point of it. I'm trying to find the actual twist, but I can't find it. Why have you sent me an Instagram picture, Nick? Oh, are they on the... From the second battle round at the end of their turn, the active player can pick one objective wholly within the enemy territory that they control that is being contested at the end of their units. That objective is removed from play. That's how each battle round, the Underdog can pick one objective in their territory that they control. Into the battle round, they can subtract 5 from the control score for their holding it. Okay. Look at the F Company's face. I've seen it, it's fine. It's a bit boring, but... Do they have the battle plans on here? Is that what we're saying? Ah, they do. Battle plans. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't realise they put them all in the app. I didn't realise they put all the missions in the app. That's quite cool. GW, that's what I say. But I still stand. I think the Underdog feels mediocre depending on the mission. You know, I think some of them feel really good, some of them feel a bit rubbish. The +1 CP is nice, or the command point is nice. But I think the Underdog mechanic, just in general, can feel very underwhelming. So yeah. Is there any other things that you guys have brought up or want me to talk about? Again, I'll just keep going off my list that I've done. I think a lot of people complained about the app, but the app will just get updated. People complain about the double turn. I don't think going on about the double turn is worth it. I think pretty much everything in the Discord we've covered already. Cavalry is very strong right now. Yeah, cavalry is pretty strong. I think the reason cavalry is very strong, right? I think because what they've done is cavalry is very fast already, but they've also given everything like an extra wound, which I think actually skews cavalry to be like super strong. Because they're just like a little bit more hard to kill compared to everything else. Where the ultimate cavalry sin is though is the Hex Wraiths. 3 health, 4 up, unrendable save. They have crit auto wound on everything, which is nice, and they have 5 attacks. Now the Spectral Scythe is 2 damage on the charge, 4s and 4s, and then the Steed is 5s and 3s. But they have, if this unit charges face, we can hit within 1 inch. On a D3, inflict that many mortal wounds. Roll D3, on a 2+, inflict that many mortal wounds. The unrendable and the 3 wounds is like, I think the 3 wounds is the big kicker with cavalry, right? Because they've standardized cavalry to have, like, you've got infantry with 1 wound, heavy infantry with 2, cavalry with 3, and extremely bodyguard heavy infantry has 4. And then, yeah, they'll have a 5 or a 6 up ward, depending. They'll have a 6 up ward naturally, then they'll use a 5 up ward. Cavalry's, like, relatively cheap game-wide, I've found. Yeah, they'll have a 6 up ward, but they have their own version of all that defense, which gives you a 5+ ward. And I think there's probably a spell for one as well. Look at Knights and Varangard. Yeah, Varangard and Knights are obviously like superly heavily armored. They're really, really, really chunky. I think Cavalry is just like such a sticking point right now because it's like relatively cheap for what it is, but very, very tough, very fast. And I think essentially like Age of Sigmar and like fantasy games have always been a case of having your cavalry be the spearhead, they go first, and then they go first, they get in first, and then the rest of the army catches up. Oh, do Hexwraiths stun on the charge, do they? Did I miss that? I presume that's the Nighthorn ability. Where am I looking? Where am I looking? Battle traits, that's the one. So, pick a friendly Nighthorn unit. It's called Petrify. Pick a friendly Nighthorn hero. That's not you. That's the hero. Army ability. Read Bishop's mess because they can't talk in chat. Why can't they talk in chat? Is that what I've been tagged? Okay, yeah, look at that. Nighthorn battle trait. Yeah, so basically when they charge, I'll just try to look. That's a Nighthorn hero for strike last. -1 save. Stuns the cavalry one. I've got the pick a friendly Nighthorn hero that is not using Aura of Dread this turn and charge this turn to use his ability to pick an enemy unit that has the strike last. Is that what you mean? Or just stun is -1 save? Pick a friendly Nighthawk War Machine or Cavalry and is not using Aura of Dread ability this turn and that charge this turn to pick an enemy unit within 1 inch of the target. Subtract 1 from save rolls. My apologies. I thought stun you meant strike last for some reason. So yeah, so the cavalry can do -1 save. So like Hexwraiths are like a really harsh one because obviously like -1 save is obviously really good. I think most of the game is like Ren 1 now, or like decent units have Ren 1 or Ren 2. So being able to essentially give them Ren 2 or Ren 3 is super strong because I found a lot of units aren't quite as defensive as they used to be. So the cavalry feel really, really good, especially because they're the first ones against combat. They're the ones to disrupt the plans, grab objectives early. So cavalry feels pretty strong. Your brother's got a massive head. Right, okay. Anyway. So I just think cavalry are just throwing people off. Because they feel really strong, because they get quite a lot of attacks with the horses. Obviously, half the horses are hitting on 5s usually. But like the rider is usually really good because they're usually getting 2 damage on the charge. So it's usually quite consistent 3s, 4s, 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 or 4s, 3s, or something along those lines. Ren 1, 2 damage with like 2 or 3 attacks, 3s from the sergeants. That's like a really nice, strong profile. But then you get the horses as well, which is just a couple extra of attacks. Like for this example, they're getting like crit auto wound because they're ghosts, which is really nice. And then they've just got like a whole bunch of wounds and they've got a relatively decent save. So I think cavalry are just like, they've kind of gone from like a tricksy screen or something that can like grab an objective early to quite a good front runner for your army. I think people are like kind of being thrown off. I don't think this is like a... I don't know if this is a problem, but maybe they're too cheap, you know? Maybe too cheap. And then Bishop has said, companion weapon rules need to be either changed back to what it was or deleted from the game. Now, we had an interesting conversation in Discord yesterday about companion, right? Quite a long conversation. Now, I'm still sat here. I'm still going to sit on my my high horse and say, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm big, you're small, there's nothing you can do about it. But the point was, is companion sometimes just absolutely destroys things. Because companion as a rule is essentially, companion doesn't affect anything, okay? Or can't be affected. So I'm going to use Decknull's examples here. Companion, this weapon is not affected by friendly abilities that affect weapon characteristics or the attack sequence, okay? And the example Decknull gave was the unstoppable momentum, which is, this is Iron Jaws, okay? Each time this unit uses a charge ability, it gains 1 momentum point. Each time it uses a run ability, it gains 2 momentum points. It can have a maximum of 3 momentum points at once. Add the number of momentum points this unit has to the damage characteristic of the Morgrunter's tusks. At the end of the battle round, subtract 1 from its momentum points to a minimum of 0. But the thing is with it, is the Morgrunter's tusk is a companion weapon. So, if you really wanted to, you could try to argue that due to the fact that companion weapon is not affected by friendly abilities that affect weapon characteristics or the attack sequence, using unstoppable momentum to change the damage characteristic of the tusks does nothing because it has companion. So I think what it is a little bit of a funny one, definitely. I think we can all sit here and go, well, because it doesn't specifically say it ignores companion, but specifically calls out the weapon it's trying to affect, I think we're pretty clear in the fact that it's fine. You know? I think we're pretty clear in the fact that obviously that does work. But if you really wanted to, you could become the most hated person in your local gaming club and say companion stops any sort of ability working unless it says it ignores companion. Because all out attack says it ignores companion. This also affects weapons that have the companion weapon ability. But the point is, I think the reason it says this is because you can't list every single weapon. A lot of abilities say add one or do something to companion weapons because it's very generic. But I think the logical sense is to obviously, if it's talking about a specific weapon, it's probably fine. And I don't think the whole point of this ability was to gain momentum, to spend momentum for nothing to happen because of the companion ability. But it is like a bit of a funny one. And I wonder if there's any other interactions like this that don't quite work because of a rule they wrote in one place to then not do in another place. Because again, like all out attack is a generic weapon ability. So they can't say this also affects the Morgrunter's tusks. It also affects this. It also affects that. So they use companion as a wide range thing to say it just affects the whole unit. Because the whole point of companion is if you have an ability that doesn't specifically say it affects it, it doesn't affect it. You know? This is more common than you think. Many armies have abilities that modify companion weapons in general, not specifically by name. Companion ability is there for all out attack and such. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think companion is to try and be a overarching control of buff stacking, right? Because like you can get so many different buffs to like units within X or armies within X or whatever. And I think the whole point of companion was to be like, look, we don't want the fucking Maw Crusher, the Maw Crusher getting like buffs to high heaven. So we'll only allow it to get +1 attack, or +1 to hit, sorry. We don't want it to get plus multiple attacks when it kills units. We don't want it to get plus damage. We don't want it to get whatever. Only all that attack should be affected. But I think they managed it properly in the previous edition, and I think Companion was probably like a thing where they went, you know what, mounts don't get affected, basically. You know, we basically, in this instance, mounts don't get affected, but then they've kind of gone, well, actually, all these abilities do affect the mounts because it is just a monster, or it is just the mounts, you know? So I think this is like a bit of a funny one. And again, this is like a really weird example. Again, like this is Ideneth Deepkin, this ferocious predators of add 1 to hits for companion weapons, even though technically it's not affected by any friendly abilities. I feel like this should be worded. It should just something say, unless otherwise stated, you know? Unless otherwise stated, because then this is stated, so it doesn't matter, you know? So then that does get affected. This is stated, so that's fine. This is stated, you know? It just needs like, ultimately we can all be adults and go, that's obviously how it works. But really, you could argue that it doesn't, you know? The ability is about bypassing companion weapons because the Morg Grunter has 2 companion weapons. It's only targeting one of the companion weapons. How else would you say that? So yeah, because it's, again, the point is you can sit here and go, yeah, because it's saying Morg Grunter's Tusk, it does affect it. But because Morg Grunter's Tusk has companion, does that mean that it isn't affected, you know? I think companion just needs a little thing that says, unless otherwise stated, it's not affected by friendly abilities. Contradictory rule section is where they put unless otherwise stated. Did they put that already? Just change companion. You can't write it like that because then all that attack doesn't work. Is there already an FAQ? Because I looked yesterday, couldn't see anything. Where's the FAQ? Rules updates to here. No. It's been a rules section since launch. Okay, but where is it? You're just saying it's there from launch. Because I looked in the fucking app and I couldn't find anything. I searched companion. Their faction packs. Where's the FAQ? Is it the end of this? Oh, for God's sake, it is. Right, let's have a look here. Change the companion weapons ability. This weapon is not affected by friendly abilities that affect weapon characteristics or the attack sequence. Is it past your bedtime? It is, yeah. But I'm determined to say this needs a change or to tell Detnell he's wrong. Both will be great. Either will be great, even. Old wording was attack characteristic, meaning raw, you could still modify hit, wound, and rend. That's funny. That's spearhead. So there's nothing in the FAQ. I thought it was in the FAQ. Now, just tell Detnell he's wrong. I could do that, to be fair. Core rules 29. Deck, you about to tell me you're wrong? This document is so bad. Here we go. If two or more rules contradict, if one of those rules states that something cannot do something, this takes precedence over rules that state it can do or must do something, unless the second rule specifically overrides the restriction of the first. What? For example, while the null move ability says you cannot move into combat during the fly moves, but it says you ignore the combat ranges. Accepting the above, the effect of the most recently used abilities takes precedence. It actually says I'm right. Yeah, I think this just proves that you're right. If two or more rules contradict, if one of those rules states something cannot do something, this takes precedence over something that states it can do something. It says it cannot be affected. Why won't this open twice? How did I manage that? This takes precedence over rules that state it can or must do that thing, unless the second rule specifically overrides the restriction of the first. How does it override? It doesn't say it overrides. All out attack says, including companion, right? It's such a weird one. As I said, we can all sit here and be adults and say it's fine, which I'm not trying to say it's not. But I also see where deck's coming from. It's not affected by friendly abilities. This says it affects the tusks. The tusks have companion. This says if you cannot do something, it is not affected. That's the same as cannot, right? How does override work, you know? Have they ever defined what override means? You know? What they should say is just say unless stated on companion. Because then it states that that weapon gets buffed. Cheeky bit of vindication. As I said, now the thing is with deck, I want to put a pin in that, right? Want to put a little pin in that. You say everyone's cheating is not correct, okay? You say we're ignoring the rules is not correct. That is you being a dickhead. However, I agreed, and I still agree, that I think you're onto something. But trying to say, oh, we're just ignoring the rules, oh, we're just making up the rules now, is obviously you being facetious. Maggie's going to email the Wargaming iOS team to prove Deck wrong. 100%. 100%, bro. Why do you think I'm here? Collectively misinterpreted rules are committed like we did for Whole of the Leviathan. Like, what rule is that? It's not misinterpreting. It's not misinterpreting because misinterpreting would be saying unstoppable momentum doesn't do anything because they wrote that rule, but the whole point was for a companion to turn it off. That is misinterpreting a rule. But I think you're right. It's just, what does override mean? It doesn't say, even though it has companion or anything. That would say it overrides. I'm not going to go around in circles. No, you've said we collectively ignored a rule for whole of Leviathan. What rule are you talking about? What rule as a community we all misinterpret in Leviathan? That's all I'm asking. As I said, I think we all be adults and just go, yeah, it's fine, whatever. But I think, yeah, there's no rules to say that it ignores companion. Unless it says it does ignore companion. Let me find the word easy, don't twist my words. Which rule? Then I'll know, surely. I don't see the logic here because the rule specifically targets the weapon. Yeah, of course. That's why I said, like, we're being adults, you know what I mean? Companion says it ignores the abilities that affect the number of attacks or the attack sequence. Weapon... No, it says it affects the weapon characteristics. Damage is an attack weapon characteristic. You know? Remember core modifying a malefic weapon, same thing. Yeah, kind of. I'm getting the rules PDF. The rules PDF, this is from the app, this is updated. I see it as war scrolls trump the core rules. Yeah, I think that's a logical step, right? That's a logical step, but like, I don't know if the rules specifically state that that's how it works. You know? Which again, as I said, if we're all going to be adults... There's not a problem here. I think it's obviously fine. It's obviously fine, but I don't think the rules make it fine. If you're gonna ban me, no, I'm not going to bother. No one's gonna ban you. I'm asking you about the rule that you said everyone's got wrong. Mercenary and Jacob winding you up. I'm just like confused. Which rule did we all get wrong? If I go, oh yeah, that's fine. And I said I agree with you. I agree with you, but I think saying you're misinterpreting a rule is not quite the same, you know? I suggest you imagine everything Declan said in Skeletor's voice. It makes so much more sense that way. As I said, it obviously works, but I honestly think you're right. I think you're right. It's technically companion turns it all off. But for a unit to have an ability that only affects a companion weapon, if you wanted to go companion doesn't let that happen, you are going to be the knobhead, you know? But I agree. I don't know where in the rules, or if they're contradictory rules, is the bit it's not clear enough to make that clear, you know? But basically in Leviathan, the no turn up turn 1 rule, people misinterpret it so you can come in with reserve if you place them into reserve after the game started. That was correct. You could do that the entire time. Are you trying to say people couldn't? We all thought you could, but you couldn't because you could. That's correct. You can, if you started on the board and went into reserve, you could deep strike turn 1. That's how everybody won tournaments early on. The rule says units die. Then in brackets says this does not apply to units that put into reserve after the game started. Yeah. They're not affected by can't come in turn 1. That's how the English language works, right? The bracket says, you can't come in turn 1 and also you die. That units that what the bracket, what did the bracket says, does not apply to units that were put into reserve. And then GW have put out a 9 million page document to clarify everything they wrote in the rules. That it did work. And it did work from the start anyway, because that's just how it worked. So I think Decknell thinks that that was wrong, but everyone played it that way. We probably cleaned it up so there's no confusion, but yeah, that wasn't a collectively... What did you say? Collectively played it wrong for a year, because it wasn't wrong. Everyone just misinterpreted. It wasn't misinterpreted if it was interpreted correctly. I don't understand. If everyone was playing it correctly, how did they misinterpret it? That you're just being silly. You're being argumentative. It wasn't wrong. It was correct. Pariah just said, yes, this is definitely how it works. That doesn't mean it didn't work beforehand. That just means Games Workshop put out 4 million questions for no reason. You know? If everyone was playing it wrong, doesn't make it right. No one was playing it wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. No one was playing it wrong, which means no one was playing it misinterpreting it, because everyone played it the same way, because that's how it was wrote down. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, I agree with Decknell that it doesn't quite work because Companion is a bit silly, but there's no rules to say War Scroll abilities overrule original abilities type vibe. So was I being pedantic? Sorry for reading the fucking rules. Decknell, you're getting angry about... It's okay to be wrong in this instance. There was 2 points and it says you're not affected by them. So everyone took that as being you're not affected by them because that's how it worked. And that's what it said. That's not misinterpreting everyone like in Cuckoo Land. That's everyone's on the same page because that's how it's wrote down. You know? But it's fine. It's fine. So everyone says I'm wrong all day yesterday. Then you read it and say, no, it's right. No, I said you were right yesterday. I did say you were right yesterday. But I said if you try and enforce it, that's just silly because the logical interpretation of that rule is to go, it says it affects his rule or it affects his weapon, you know? I said you were being pedantic. I didn't say you were being wrong. Anyway, it's time for marbles. It's time for marbles, I think, because I'm tired. And I think chat's tired too. So I'm going to start adding names now. And I'm going to ignore chat. So I got Tom Wilkins to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4. Papa Pariah.
super chat £2. Give this marble to December.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Sure thing. Big C. For 1. Des gets 1. Jace gets 1. Brian. Jace gets another 1. Dunra. Andy Tech Dad. I don't think Detno's watching because I've just seen him pop up on Steam. Des with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brian. Marty Marv. Lambo. And then Alexic gave 11. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Because he gifted 10 and then became a member themselves. Justice. Grimslayer. Nearly done, chat. We had a lot come through very quickly, that's all. Wargamer Ape. David McDowell. Andrew. Brian. And then a couple more. Big C. Jake. And then Andy Decknell. And then I'll let him decide at the end. The nip tweet's doing great, by the way. Someone has photoshopped it way better than I could, though. I hate them. Andy Deckdad, brilliant. So how many we got? 44 today, chat. Andy Deckdad. I don't think that's right. 44. Let's play. Let's play the lucky few. Okay. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks for all the support. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'm going to be back Wednesday, but I'm also should have a video coming out tomorrow, I think. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you all. Best of luck in the race. And yeah, it's been a fun stream tonight. It's been good. I overran by 40 minutes. So thanks for watching. And hopefully I will catch you Wednesday. Best of luck in the race and go! Okay, to start off with, we have Andrew, Datsunders, Papa Pariah, and Alexic winning the initial thing. Look at the absolute pipe work we've got to go through. What is this, Mario? Is this Super Mario or something? I don't know. Let's find out. Andrew's currently in the lead, with Alexic coming up in second. Papa Pariah and Tom coming up through. They've got to pop through this hole. That's the thing. Doesn't matter if you get through first. It's all about the hole. That's what I always tell myself. But anyway, Tom is currently taking the lead. Tom Wilkins dropped the first super chat of the day. More pipe than a porno, for God's sake. Anyway, as we were, Tom's currently taking the lead with Andrew, David, and Alexic in current second, third, and fourth. As you can see, they've got to get around this bit. That's the thing. Oh, I've unlocked my mouse by accident. I don't know how I've done this. There we go. So he's currently in the lead. Just behind him, we got Brian, we got Alexi, we got Grimslayer, we got Papa, we got Jace, we got Jake's 2 pence. All the way at the back, we have Brian and Dez having fun at the back. Anyway, Tom Wilkins getting caught in the fans. Holy shit, he's going the wrong way now. With Grimslayer, can they make it through? Yes, they can. They get the boost as Tom's left right at the back. Oh no, he's actually catching up. He's coming back for vengeance. Grimslayer and Tom fighting through the pipes. Holy shit, Grimslayer just has to make it through here now. Just has to fall through the hole and not fall off. That's the question. Here we go. Who's going to make it through? Once we're in the ball, nobody knows. It looks like Tom might have fallen through. Tom's falling through. Holy shit. Holy shit. Grimslayer's so far behind. Wowzer. Tom Wilkins had the lead for the entire race and never lost it. But you know who did lose it? Dunra, Papa Pariah, and Jake Tupenzi, who just fell off the track. Wowzer. Okay. Womp womp indeed. Womp womp indeed. There was no stopping him. He was in the front the entire time. He's still on the track there. Is he on the track elsewhere? He's still on the track up here. Tom had 4 marbles. It looks like 3 of them are all going to make it. Oh, they went the slow way. That's why. There's a fast way and a slow way, look. They went the slow way. Not making your bot thing now. Race better, bro. How about you just race better? What can I say? Stupid marble. Well, there we go. Tom, congratulations. If you're still watching, you're about to spin the wheel. You're about to spin the wheel. So I've got the final results. Who didn't make it? Can we get an 07 for double Alexic? Tom Wilkins, Alexic, Papa Pariah, Tom Wilkins, Brian Dez, Alexic, Papa Pariah, Dunra, Papa Pariah, Jake Tupence, Alexic, and that's on Dez. That was not a good race for you guys. 14 of you fell off. But as you can see, first Tom, second Grimslayer, third Datsun Des, fourth Jason, fifth Andrew. Also, please reply to our message. What message? I'm live streaming. Brother. So, Tom, congratulations. You have just won some paper. I thought I was about to give away another 60 quid then. There we go. Congratulations, Tom. You've just won some paper. Well done, matey. Well done. Congrats. And thank you, everyone, for watching. I really appreciate it. It's been fun. It's been emotional. Hopefully, we've learned something about Age of Sigmar. Because I have, definitely. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. You're all legends. And hopefully, I'll catch you on Wednesday. You know? We'll be back Wednesday with some morning news. Should be fun. Should be interesting. Give it in with no context at All Stars. I will. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. All right. Bye-bye now. Bye. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Love you all. Bye.